Today I'm going to show you an action and crime drama film titled One Night in Bangkok. Be ready for spoilers ahead. The movie starts with an elderly American man named Kai boarding a flight to Bangkok. He's a two-time war veteran and turned into a hitman who never missed a mission. He has arrived in Bangkok to exact revenge for the murder of his family during their holiday a month ago. Since Thailand's authorities failed to apprehend the offenders, Kai has decided to take matters into his own hands. On his arrival, he hails a motorcycle taxi and orders the driver to take him to a restaurant in downtown Bangkok. After arriving, he goes straight to the restroom, where someone has left him a black bag containing all the items he needs for his revenge plan. With only that night to get things done, he wastes no time and books an online taxi to his first destination. Shortly thereafter, Far, the online taxi driver, picks him up, and they begin their journey to Kai's first destination. Kai compliments Far, noting how rare it is to see a beautiful young woman working as a taxi driver. Far tells him she enjoys her job, meeting new people, and working hard to pay for her brother's cancer treatment. Kai sympathizes and hopes that her brother recovers. He offers $6,000 to be his all-night driver, but she has to turn off her online taxi app. He gives her $1,000 in advance and promises the rest later. She's free to end the trip at any time. Far agrees to the deal since she needs the money to pay for her brother's cancer treatment. The first stop is a lawyer who helped the person responsible for his family's tragedy. Kai then shoots her with a silencer and stays in her office to make it appear he's having a meeting with her. He then leaves and informs the secretary that he wants a pink taxi and is staying at a specific hotel. Kai returns to the taxi and tells the driver to head to the next location, which is the police station. During the drive, Far gets confused and asks if Kai is in trouble. He reassures her that it's just some business with a policeman who lives there. Kai goes to an apartment and has a brief fight with a police officer. He swiftly overpowers him and shoots him dead. Kai goes to the bedroom and finds a red toolbox under the bed and opens it. There is a lot of money inside as well as the numerous case files. He searches for a specific file and after getting it, he rushes back to Far's taxi to continue to the third location. While driving, Far notices Kai has a head injury from his earlier encounter. She stops the car and attends to his wound, asking what happened. Kai says he just hit a wall and doesn't go into details. Shortly thereafter, an offbeat police detective named Sorit races to investigating the crime scene of the lawyer's murder. Sorit recognizes Kai through security footage, yet he remains uncertain about the cause of the violence. Kai and Far stop at a local food cart to have dinner and she asks him why he gave her so much money. Kai explains that it's a bonus for her kindness and promises her another $1,000 once he's finished. Far is thrilled with the extra cash, since it's the highest she's ever received. She immediately begins asking about his business. Kai opens up. His family was killed in a car crash caused by a drunk driver. However, the culprit didn't face any punishment because he was the son of a wealthy businessman. So Kai has decided to take revenge on everyone who got involved in his family's tragedy. Hearing about Kai's family, Far becomes emotional to the point she sheds tears. She also lost one foreign family in a traffic accident. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Thailand's authorities swiftly close the case and release the drunk driver. As they continue their journey, the police detective goes to the second murder scene. Kai instructs Far to drive him to the next stop, which is at a nightclub, where he enters the bathroom pretending to be washing up. Two men enter the bathroom, and the culprit enters a stall with a worker to satisfy his lust while his bodyguard waits for him outside. Kai takes down the security guard and opens the stall where the guy is trying to fix himself up. The woman runs away, leaving Kai asking the culprit if he remembers killing a family with his Porsche. The man, trembling with fear, begs for forgiveness, saying it was just an accident. Kai shoots but intentionally not killing him and vanishes. Detectives receive information that there's a third shooting incident at the nightclub. Fortunately, he finds the victim is still alive and proceeds to transport him to the hospital. Kai instructs Far to drive to a hospital for his next target, but when she sees the gun she becomes terrified. Kai tells her that he does not want to kill her, so she shouldn't be worried. When she complains why he's using her car to murder innocent people, he explains the reasoning behind his actions. Kai reveals that the accident in Bangkok claimed the lives of his daughter and granddaughter, and all the individuals he killed were also involved. Far realizes the situation and becomes worried that she was the driver of the vehicle in which Kai's family perished. Kai reveals that it wasn't a coincidence to pick her, he specifically wanted her to be his driver, as he was going to murder her first. However, the cross hanging from the rearview mirror stopped him because it belonged to his late daughter. As they arrive at the hospital, Kai instructs Far to wait discreetly at the end of the street to avoid detection. The victim's parents are arguing furiously, each blaming the other for their son's condition. This wealthy family bribed the authorities to get their son out of trouble, and they are now crying as their son lies in a coma. Kai enters the hospital room holding the family's bodyguard hostage. Kai had spared the boy's life at the nightclub to confront his parents, and without hesitation, he shoots the tycoon's wife when she tries to shout at him. The businessman becomes terrified and asks what they had done to deserve this. Kai accuses the businessman of concealing his son's crimes, which include the murder of his entire family. That's why Kai decides to take matters into his own hands. He swiftly eliminates the tycoon, then proceeds to assassinate the guard, and finally the son. The police officer's wife tells him that the lawyer and dead police officer worked together on several homicide cases. She tells him about the traffic accident that killed Kai's daughter and granddaughter. The wealthy businessman's son was responsible for killing Kai's family. However, the boy's father's bribery of law enforcement prevented him from facing the sentence. She's convinced that Kai is now seeking revenge on all those involved. When the police officer enters the patient's room, he finds Kai has taken a nurse hostage. The detective tries to convince him that he understood his motive and that he was a good person who felt he had to go to extremes to get justice. He begs Kai to stop seeking revenge, saying justice has been served, but Kai says there is one more person he needs to deal with, the judge who let the offender go after taking a bribe. Kai pulls the nurse to the parking lot as being followed by the detective. The officer asks Kai to let the nurse go and promise to stop chasing him, and even drops his weapon. However, the police officer's partner comes up behind and shoots at Kai, hitting the nurse. Kai shoots back, delivering a fatal shot to the detective's partner. Kai quickly escapes but is wounded in the abdomen. The detective stops chasing him and focuses on the injured nurse and his partner. Far calls Kai's mobile and comes back for him. She tells him to keep low because police are everywhere. Far notices that Kai needs help with his injuries, but he insists that he can't go to the hospital, fearing the authorities will apprehend him. Far then takes Kai to a deserted roadway, where she attends to his gunshot injury. While at the hospital reflecting on the events that happened to his partner and the nurse, the detective's wife and baby arrive to talk about the recent incident. The wife tells him that a taxi driver named Far picked up a passenger, but she turned off the app so they couldn't track her. She also informs her husband that Kai is a military veteran with no criminal record. She reminds him that Kai is a father just like him. After hearing this, the detective remains silent. After tending to Kai's wound, he says he is going to confront the last person on his list, but asks Far first why she has helped him. She says she wanted to right the wrong she did. Far admits that she made a lot of bad choices recently and had to live with the consequences. The wealthy family paid her to keep quiet, and she used the money to buy a new car and pay her brother's hospital bills. She knew if she didn't accept the bribe, they would kill her. Far says that she worked in the hospitality industry and turned down numerous offers to sleep with customers despite the fact she had financial difficulties. She tells Kai that he's the first man to show her respect for what she does. Kai hands her the bag full of cash, as well as a hard drive with his life savings of more than $1 million. He says the last target is the most difficult to reach. He may not survive, and even if he does, he might go to prison. Kai tells her to take her brother with the money and go to a country where they can start a new life. Far gives him a heartfelt hug before driving him to the last target's house. The target is a Japanese individual known by the nickname The Fixer. He is the one who hid his daughter's bodies from the traffic accident scene and played the middleman between the judge and the tycoon's deal. Kai also hired him to set up the guns and spotted the target's locations. Even though Far tries to convince him to stop and suggests he reconsider, Kai has none of it. He is resolute, prioritizing his desire for vengeance over all else, and he is determined to kill him. Kai assesses the level of protection and initiates his attack. He gets an automatic weapon and takes all of the security guards down. He calls out to the Japanese fixer, telling him to come out and face him like a man. When the fixer gets out, he expresses admiration for the way he has eliminated his security guards. Kai asserts that he hasn't completed his revenge, to which the fixer responds that he hasn't begun and hasn't killed anyone in a while. When the angry Kai charges at him, the fixer shoots him. He throws the gun on the ground, suggesting they fight without weapons. Kai charges again and fights fiercely, but he is already exhausted from the earlier encounters. He struggles against the fixer's punches and is knocked to the ground. Unexpectedly, Far comes to Kai's aid, then the Japanese threaten to shoot them both. He aims at her, but the police officer shoots him to save them. Kai apologizes for killing the detective's partner, and the nurse was killed in the fire exchange. He says that Far had nothing to do with it, that he forced her to drive him. The detective eventually took his wife's advice and quickly orders Far to take Kai to safety before more police officers arrive. He promises to reform Thailand's legal system to prevent similar tragedies from happening again. A few moments later, Far drives the dying Kai and receives his final wish. He envisions himself back in Hawaii, walking into the ocean and looking up at the sky. Far had driven him to the ocean, where he died peacefully sleeping in her limousine. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.